Hey there, it's Heather with Salty Vibes here for another week on my podcast. This week is a little late. I was on a road trip to California and I went camping for Memorial Weekend, and I did not get a podcast done. That should have been scheduled for Monday, which is fine because Monday was a holiday anyways. Um, Thankful for all the people who fought for our country to give us freedom. So I was with some friends and family, celebrating the holiday, and then I got back to my hometown and I did a road trip back. And then I had family that I was helping out. And then now here I am late at night realizing that I did not post a podcast for this week. So for my 3-4 listeners, this is this week's. I did have something great I was thinking about the other day when I was on my drive, and I was like, oh, I'm going to post that. And then completely went away in my brain. And I have not figured out. I think I'm just tired because I just realized this month has been kind of intense. The beginning of the month, went to Vegas with my mom and my best friend and her mom for Mother's Day weekend. I came home and then my mom had to go in the hospital, and I talked a little bit about that. And then I went on that road trip and went to Cali, and then now we are in the end of May, and um, it's like May's over already. And I feel like that's how my summer is going to be because I have a lot of stuff planned this summer. I booked all the way to September. Some of the great things that I love about the freedom, living debt free. I own my house free and clear, and I have a freedom, or I do real estate, and then I sell stuff online to make extra money. So I can have a flexible schedule in some ways. And right now, I just have some buyer's clients for real estate, and I have a listing coming up this summer. So I'm kind of in like that lull when you have buyer's clients. Sometimes it can take a while to find something they want, and I just kind of feel like it's kind of slow right now. So with that, I was like, well, I had the opportunity to go on a road trip. Why not? And I love California. I love adventures, and I can't say no. So that's always been a goal of mine, to set my life up to be able to do that. And over the last can't say that word, several years, that has kind of been one of the things I really wanted to do. I remember when I was married, I always, tell my husband, we live in Alaska and it's cold in the dark. And I'm like, I want to be able to get out every once in a while and do adventures. And he just wasn't up for it. He didn't enjoy it. He didn't love it. He would go begrudgingly. Again, I cannot speak. And it just wasn't his thing. His thing was, he liked to go hunting and camping and four-wheeling and stuff, and I love doing that too. I would go with him, but a lot of the stuff was the things that he loved to do. And if it was what I loved to do, then he would pout and be mad, and my whole trip would be absolutely miserable. So I started to do things without him, or, try to do things without him getting too upset with me. And now that I'm single and I live this life, and I'm kind of creating this life that I want to love, that I want to live, that I want to be, as long as I'm on this earth, I want to enjoy it. I want to cherish it. People are like, you're always going and doing something, but I mean, I kind of have the freedom. I do have the freedom because the way I've set things up. I don't have debt. I drive an older vehicle. I bought a small house, and I paid cash, and I pay for everything out of pocket, which definitely creates where you can do that. And I am set up, and I feel grateful and blessed that I get that opportunity. And I know not everybody gets that opportunity, but I do think that you can set your life up that way if you really, really want to. It can be hard. And so that's where this comes in. I was kind of reading like, okay, what is why do I want to do what I'm doing? And the longest time, one of my things, I got it from another entrepreneur lady online. I want to do something where nobody has to tell me what to do ever again. It's pretty much like that was my mission statement. I was did everything for my ex-husband, ran his business, I raised the kids, I did all these things that it was about them, and that was like what I wanted to do because I wanted to be married and I wanted to be a mom. Those were like my two top things that I wanted to do. But in that, sometimes you lose yourself, and especially if you don't have a supporting husband, especially someone who is kind of all about them. If I would have something I wanted to do or a dream, or I'm like, oh, I really would love to, take this class, or he would kind of like, oh, you don't want to do that. Or it's another one of your ideas, just kind of like make me feel stupid. So, um, being in the position I am now, uh, single, I have the funds. I live comfortably, but I live frugally. I stay in a budget, and if I want to go on a road trip or I want to go do fun things, I'm going to say yes. And so, with going through life coaching and me being a life coach, one of my goals is to help a woman who has been in a position like I was. Maybe you need to go through trauma coaching, which check out Stronger Co for that. I am a certified life coach through trauma and grief coaching, but there are also a lot of other amazing coaches through Stronger Co. You can find her online, totally nonprofit. You don't have to pay money for that. It's paid for through her fund she gets through grants and things. Definitely was a life changing program that I went through after I did my therapy. The other thing is what I'm working through and my business is a life breakthrough coach. And that is deciding that, like, how do you want to create a life that you love? And that's kind of like the bridge that I had to fill in. Like, okay, I've raised my kids, they're grown. I'm no longer married. I still haven't found the person that maybe I will spend my forever life with, if that's going to be an option. I don't know. For the longest time, I didn't think I wanted that. It's kind of changed. I kind of feel like I do, but they have to want to be able to give me the freedom to be me, but also where we work as a team and a partner and we can go do these fun adventures together. I would love, like, I have fun with my girlfriends doing that. We can just be free and relaxed and have fun together. So I would love to have a man be my partner and want to do that with me. I guess I just haven't found the right one, or I've been too closed off for that. So something I have been working on, especially this last year. I think we always have things, I want to be better. I want to be a better human. Um, but I'm living my life. I was talking to my son today. He's like, "Do you think you'll always stay where you're at, or will you move again?" And I'm like, "Well, as of right now, I'm just taking it day by day because I like where I am at the moment. I'm very happy. But in a year, things could change. I'm older. Maybe I do find someone and I get married and we decide to move. Um, I feel like where I live right now, I'm open to be able to jump in the car and I can take a road trip to go to California, to Arizona, or whatever. I feel like I'm in a really good um, area in life to be able to do that. I'm in a really good area of life financially, and um, also career wise, and I am single, so it is easy to just fill my schedule up very, very full. Not everybody wants to do that. But funny thing is I'm more of an introverted person. So, and I do real estate, I do life coaching. I love talking to people. I love to sit over a cup of coffee with you, talk about life, figure life out. How do you get to the next step in life? Where do you want to go? What's your direction? Um, but this past month's been so busy and I've had a lot going on that I was like, I haven't had a down day. And I usually need a couple days to kind of recoup, refresh. not be so people-y. And then I get those couple days and then I'm ready to go and I'm ready to socialize. And so it's like that introvert extrovertness. I do love my quiet time at home. I love some time by myself where I don't really have to talk to anybody. But this past month has been very busy and I feel like I haven't had a down day. So I'm feeling very exhausted. So I am going to rejuvenate, get my social battery built back up again, and then hopefully in a couple of days I'll be raring to go again. But this is just something I was thinking about today. I did a little post on my Instagram, but I was looking up, why do I want to be a life coach? And so here is kind of the saying, people spend years building a life. It looks good from outside, but quietly they feel disconnected on the inside. They check every box with your career, your responsibility, your relationships, but you wake up wondering, is this really the life I'm meant to live? And I felt that for years. And that's where the story begins. I started life coaching because I understand what it feels like to want more clarity, more purpose, more peace, more fulfillment. I know the weight of self doubt, burnout, fear, and feeling stuck between who you are and who you want to become. And somewhere along the way, I realized something powerful. A meaningful life doesn't happen by accident, it happens through intention, growth, healing, and courage. Now the mission is simple. I want to help people reconnect with themselves and create a life they genuinely love waking up to, not a life based on pressure, not a life built around everyone else's expectations, but a life aligned with their values, passions, confidence, and purpose. And as a life coach, I will guide you through the moments that matter most, when they feel lost, when you are ready for change, when you need clarity, or when you simply want to believe in yourself again. I'll help quiet the noise, rediscover your strengths, and take real steps toward the life you've been dreaming about. Because transformation doesn't begin with having all the answers, it begins with one decision. I deserve a life that feels good to live. And that's the heart of life coaching, where I want to help you. I did not always love the life I was living. I was stuck and numb. But today I can honestly say, with everything in me, I love my life. I love my house. I wake up and I think, I love my little house, and I live in this small town that I not plan to ever move back. Um, and even on the days that are hard, because don't get me wrong, no day is perfect. You're gonna have hard days. You're still gonna have things that happen in life that are hard. Like my mom getting sick. Like there's things we just had in our small town. This terrible tragedy. This plant had an explosion, and a bunch of people died. And I didn't know anybody super personally, but I had a family friend. Their son passed, and it's just a lot of people lost loved ones, and it's hard because life is not always perfect. It's not always cupcakes and rainbows. Um, but we can't always like focus on that, and we have to like, if we're bettering ourselves and we're becoming a more positive bright light when those people are suffering, and not the ones that have lost their loved ones and they're struggling right now, the ones that have worked on themselves and are being the light by doing this life coaching, by getting out of being stuck and numb, not wanting to live. We're the ones that can go out there and be like, I'm being your strength today. I'm going to be your strength. I'm going to be your light. I'm going to be your one that holds you up while you're hurting, while you're having a hard time. And then hopefully by you getting to do that, one day when they're in a position where they need help, someone, they can do the same thing. It's the pay it forward thing. And so I think that's what's great about life coaching and therapy and all that, the stuff. We shouldn't constantly stay in healing, because I think that can get to where it might be too unhealthy, where you're not enjoying life and living, because you're always like, oh my gosh, I'm not in my healing. I'm not healed. Because we're never going to be 100% healed. You never are. You're always going to have something you need to move towards. You need to grow in. You need to, we're humans. John Maxwell talks about that. Like it's every day. Every day he wakes up, he prays, he reads his Bible, he writes, and he's like, it's always an uphill battle. Even when you get into the uphill, you're going to go into another valley and you're going to have another uphill. Check out his books. Amazing. I've heard him speak live a few times. Absolutely love that man. He has some awesome quotes, some awesome things that he's learned through his life. I mean, he's an older man. He's still going out there coaching and helping people, and just teaching leadership and getting people from their ceiling, out of their ceiling, so they're not stuck. But I can honestly say that even when I have the hard days, even when I have the heartache, even when I feel like, oh my gosh, am I going to get through this? And I got to process through it. I process through, I get through a lot quicker than I ever did before. And, there's still painful things in my life. There's still things that I struggle with. Um, but I see the good and I know that I deserve a good life. I know that I feel happiness. I feel joy. I love to laugh. I can be a support for people that I love, for my friends who are going through it. And it's because I worked on gaining the strength, the clarity. And so my hope is being a life coach, and with this podcast and with, I am going to create a Substack so I can add some of this stuff and share my podcast on there. Um, that I can get the word out there and help more people, direct you to the trauma coaching if that's what you need. And if you're looking more for somebody who you need to go to the next chapter, I would love for you to do a 30-minute consultation with me. 30-minute consultation is free. Then we can set up, you know, however many weeks of life coaching you feel. Some people just do a couple. We can do a 4-week session, kind of figure out where you want to go. We have worksheets and plans we go through, workbooks. We'll meet through Zoom, or if you're in my town, we can meet one-on-one and go get coffee and sit and stare at each other face to face. Or we can do it over phone call if you're not comfortable with any video chats or in-person chats. So I'd love to help you see if life coaching is right for you, because I think it's an amazing tool. It's an amazing opportunity. It can help you in all areas of your life. If you're looking to get healthier, to get, grow your spiritual walk, finances. I have directions of so many leadership things that I've done, tools that I've used that helped me. And I give a variety, because I don't think every one thing helps the person. Sometimes, what worked for me may not work for you. So I love to share some of the things that work for me, and also some of the things that may have worked for some of the other ladies that I've worked with or did coaching with. So you can contact me at saltykisses26@gmail.com. You can check all my information below. My Instagram is beautifully.revived. And I'm trying to be better at it, but I have my personal Instagram, and then I have my real estate and my coaching. So sometimes I slack on the business ones. My goal is to have one posted every day or every other day. But I would love to help you step into your next chapter of life, to get your clarity, purpose, and gain confidence, and just to be a support. Sometimes, especially as a women, I think, we have our friends and we just need a vent, or we just need to talk. We just need an ear to listen. And sometimes that's what a coach is. And sometimes it's just, we have, in each session's an hour long, and we just have a talk. And then you go and you're like, that was okay. That wasn't, I don't really get anything from it. And then all of a sudden, a week later, something gets in your brain, because it's your brain with the questions to ask, with the things we talk about. It's your brain going, it like unlocks something. It's like, oh, I didn't even think about that. And all of a sudden, you're getting these dreams and these things and this clarity of like, this is what I've wanted to do all my life. And then all of a sudden, you can help yourself work through it. And it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. I mean, I've been working on this for a few years now. Sometimes we fight ourselves and we put walls and blockades, or whatever we want to call them, up to kind of messes it up. But I think if we always just, have that support system, it's really helpful. I have a couple women that were in my support group, and I still talk to them to this day, where I think just, we get in touch and we talk about stuff. It's definitely kind of gets another perspective in my brain. And even still, so I think, even me being a life coach, I need the life coach help. I still need help. And then also it helps me, give me tools to use. So maybe somebody's in a position that I wasn't in, or something that maybe like I wasn't in that scenario. And then my friend or my coach that I've talked to, they'll kind of be like, oh, this happened, or I did this. And so I love sharing that. I love sharing books. So like I said, this week I'm recommending John Maxwell. Every single one of his books is amazing. I would check them all out if you can. You can go to the library. A lot of his stuff's in the library or on Amazon bookstore or on the Kindle. Um, I don't know. I don't know if I have like an absolute favorite of his. Um, but I think ones that I got for leadership were some of my favorite ones when we would go to the entree leadership couple. They would always give us free books for part of our package, and the 5 levels of leadership was a good one that I read, and then the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. um I do think they kind of teach being intentional with your life. um but you can also, without getting his books, you can go and watch some of his YouTube videos. He's also on Instagram as well. So I think if you just check that out, maybe you want to wait on getting a book, definitely check those out because, like I said, I really think a lot of his stuff is amazing. I've read pretty much every single John Maxwell book. Um, let's see, another one is he talks about attitude or becoming a person of influence. Um, so yeah, I recommend any of those ones. But that's it for today. Check out my links below. I hope everybody had a great Memorial weekend. I know I had a lot of fun. I'm still smiling from all the fun and the laughter that I had. And I think sometimes just getting away, um, even though I was away at the beginning of the month, and then I kind of had the stress and the stuff going on with my mom, and then I got away again, and it was just kind of like I got like, I can breathe and I'm happy. Life is good. I had a ton of fun. I had a ton of fun laughter with friends and just good time and making good memories. And that's what I feel like life should be about. I think we should just love our life a little more and create more memories. And I would love to help you do that. So have a great week, and I will be back. Hopefully, get to post earlier this next week since I kind of am slacking on getting my posts out there. But have a great week, and I will be back next week.